Welcome to the Daily Telegraph NRL podcast. I'm Michael Carayannis in the hot seat and joined the summer edition, I guess we'll call it. Brent Read, Matt Encarnacion. Welcome, fellas.
Hello, Mick. How are you?
Hey, Mick.
You look nervous. You okay?
Oh, yeah.
You look really edgy.
I'm pooping
You've
bricks.
been a bit angry this morning too.
It's because you're late.
It's because you're on edge.
It's because you're always late. And we're always waiting for you.
We'll be okay.
always
We believe in you.
You're not back a winner on Tuesday or something?
Nah, I'm not much of a punter. So, but no, I didn't.
You didn't mind the buffet from what I saw.
You didn't mind the beer, the drinks. It was good fun on Tuesday.
It was good fun.
We're at Randwick, indulging a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you guys backed it up yesterday at
Mr.
fancy
Wong's.
Restaurant.
Yeah. Back there again tomorrow, Mick.
Living the
You know
life.
you know what they use a lot at Mr. Wong's? Rosemary, garlic, and
stop
leather.
it. How was
Didn't take you long.
How was your dining experience yesterday?
Yeah, very good. First time. But,
First time Mr. Wong's?
First time at Mr. Wong's.
Wow.
So I was very impressed. Heard a lot about it.
It's a good joint.
This was Parramatta taking the podcast team out.
Was it?
Yeah, that's how it started.
Wow.
I don't know how you got to start. I don't know how you got to start, but Buzz and I.
Well, you know, our
not
phones were down yesterday because of this.
Yeah.
And I happened to ring work at some point on WhatsApp, and Russ said to me, "Hey, mate, what are you doing? We've got a spare seat of Mr. Wong's." Man, I got my gear on.
You got your gear on, did you?
Was it Manly Beach sunning myself?
Oh, yeah, nice.
Got the gear on straight to Mr. Wong's.
Nice.
What was your
Happy days.
outfit? I think there was a little bit of criticism from
My outfit?
a rugby league editor
Yesterday?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Anyway,
What did I
let's talk some footy.
What did I have on?
No, I don't know what you had on. I wasn't there.
Oh, I had
So-
shorts on. Yeah. Is that no
Got
go?
it.
Is that no go at Mr. Wong's? Can't you wear shorts?
That wasn't my criticism. That was, you can take that up with your
I've
higher
got some
ups.
good legs.
So
too.
we had the last of the rugby league matches over
you
the
want to
course
talk league,
of
do you?
the weekend.
Take control.
A little bit. Kangaroos, disappointing, embarrassing, worst result in
Disastrous.
their history. What'd you make of the game?
It was a disaster. Unmitigated disaster. They were horrific. As good as New Zealand were, Australia was just diabolical. Disgusting. I can't remember a worse performance from an Australian team in my lifetime. And I've been alive for a long time.
It's pretty bad.
Can't remember one as
It was
bad.
pretty bad. We all like seeing international footy be close and upsets and stuff, but not to see the Kangaroos get pumped.
In the space of a week too, given how much they dominated. I know the scoreline kind of flattered the Kangaroos the week beforehand, but it was night and day in the space of a week.
So what does this mean for the Kangaroos? Mal's off contract.
Yeah, but I think they're a long way down the track with giving him a new deal. So I don't think it'll affect Mal. There's some guys to come back into that team, obviously. Cam Murray didn't play. Nathan Cleary's a big one to come into that team.
What did you make when Kent Murray came out of the side and they put Nico Hines on the bench?
The use of Nico Hines just stunned me.
Yeah,
Again, like why would you take off Harry Grant and stick? It's easy in hindsight, right? And I'm not questioning Mel because his record is impeccable. But why would you take off Harry Grant and put Nico Hines on the middle of the field? And as soon as he came on, he missed the tackle. Was it on Griffin Neame and they scored?
Yes, yeah, Griffin
But
Neame.
why the
understand
need to have Nico Hines on the bench when you've got Harry Grant? And that's because I think they got their squad selection wrong because, look, there wasn't a lot of edge players. We saw that with Cam Murray playing there, Ruben Cotter playing there. Neither of them played there for...
And Ruben looked out of place.
Well, neither of them played there at club footy, right?
Yeah.
So there are no other options in the middle there?
They had options. Well, they had Flegler and Jake Trbojevic in the squad. Cam Murray put out on game day. Flegler was in the extended squad. They could have stuck Flegler on the bench. I would have picked Jake in the extended squad and had Jake on the bench instead of Nico Hines. But still doesn't solve the deficiencies, I guess, on the edge because they just didn't pick edge players. Liam Martin was the only recognised edge player in the whole squad.
There aren't a lot around though, Mick. There's not a lot of options there, I don't think, as far as Australia's concerned in terms of edge players. I mean,
who was at the World Cup last year?
Well, Nanai was there.
Angus
he was
Crichton.
out injured, Nanai. Angus hasn't had a great year.
No, of course, yeah.
You're
They're not going to be picked.
So they were the two guys who were at the World Cup last year, along with Murray, right? So
David Fafita injured.
Dave Fafita was injured. So they didn't, and he may have played for Tonga anyway. So they didn't have a lot of options. So, I think Mel tried to do the best with what he had, but I thought Ruben, and I love Ruben Cotter as a player, I thought he really struggled in the final as well, just playing on the edge.
They all struggle. Look, we're not going to blame the edges
there.
for them not winning, but I just...
Well, the other one was Dylan Edwards on the wing.
You're a Penrith man. What did you make of his performance?
I had a very keen eye on Dill, but I didn't think he was the worst of them. I don't think they lost because of Dylan Edwards on the wing. I think, like we spoke about, it was all in the forwards. James Tedesco is he going to stick around?
Well, that's the big one.
Well, that's the big question, right? So you cast forward right? You mentioned two names that will be in the squad. Cam Murray, Nathan Cleary injured. They'll be in the squad next time the Kangaroos play at the back end of next year. There is some suggestion that Cam Murray should even start at 13 ahead of Isaiah, right?
Yep.
But James Tedesco, the Australian captain.
When's the next World Cup?
Oh, it's not 26, is it?
Yeah,
I think all bets are off with Teddy now. I thought Mel should have picked him in this series just because of what he did in the World Cup last year. But I think now, after that loss, all bets are off.
And it depends. There's two players that Reece Walsh, Kalen Ponga, and if they produce,
Dylan Edwards.
And Dylan Edwards, yeah. If those three produce,
well, Kalen's the one for me.
Yeah, if he produces what he does, if he produces what he did at the back end of the year, and then
I think Kalen's next in line, but he's probably not going to be the Queensland fullback.
We'll still like Tom Trbojevic, as well.
Well, they missed Tommy and Latrell in the centres as well, didn't they?
Latrell will slot back into the centre, so they're massive inclusions for the Kangaroos.
The fullback has won 3 comps in a row.
Yeah, maybe.
I think Mel did the right thing picking Teddy this time around. I think Teddy deserved it, and you have to show him that respect. But I think after that loss, Mel can't afford for that to happen again. And there'll be a series at the end. They haven't announced it yet, have they?
It's likely that the plan is that Samoa goes to England plays 3 tests, and then Tonga replaces Samoa in the Pacific Championship.
Well, I think for that, Mel's got to pick it on form. If Teddy has a bad year and Kalen plays out of his skin and Reece Walsh play out of their skin, then I think they've got to be the fullback.
The good news is that we're speculated on something that's 10 months away.
It's never too early to speculate international football, Mick, in the Australian team.
What about the Kiwis?
We'll be speculating on Origin soon as well.
I've got a hard ban on Origin.
You're happy to talk international footy, but not Origin, which comes around sooner.
April.
That makes a lot of sense.
I know.
So when's your cut-off date for Origin?
It's like April, isn't it?
April, is it?
I think so.
That's when you say you can start talking about
end of April, when I can start discussing who's in and out of an Origin side.
Okay.
But Test footy, 10 months out.
Okay.
Kiwis, Michael Maguire, will he remain as coach of the Kiwis?
I think so. Yeah. Well, there are some people over there who are a bit unhappy about the way the New South Wales situation's played out. But I think, how can you get rid of him now after that? I mean, he's done an amazing job with them. The players obviously love playing for him, and he's done a great job over there. So I mean, I think he'll remain as coach, and he'll juggle the 2 roles.
Are the Blues ready for this? Is this what they want?
Well, I don't think the Kiwis are particularly happy either. Speaking to some people over there in New Zealand, they're not. No one's questioning Michael Maguire's ability to coach, right, or his place as head coach of the Kiwis. It's just at some stage the lines will be blurred between Kiwis coach and New South Wales coach. It's impossible not to be, where we see the influx of dual eligibility players.
There's not that many. There was actually not that many
that can play for both.
Yes.
I'm sure there's...
At that level, at that elite level, there's not that many guys.
No, but usually they get them when they're young, right? At 7... Like, there'll be guys that we don't know. There'll be guys that we don't know.
Yeah, and they're guys who probably will never be good enough to play at that level. I'm saying there's not that many guys who reach that level who can play, have that choice to make. There's plenty that have the choice further down, but they actually never reach those heights.
Those discussions will happen further down. So... If you're...
Yeah, but I'm saying it's only going to impact 1 or 2 players.
Okay, so
maybe 3.
So you seem like you're comfortable with it?
I'm a Queenslander. What do I care?
Matty?
I'd prefer a coach who's solely focused. On Origin, we saw how much of a toll it took on Freddie, and he had no other job.
I don't think it. No, I don't think
the toll's not the issue.
No, I think he can easily do both.
Yeah.
Like, I've got no issue with that. Mine is just the potential lines that
conflict,
which will be blurred at some stage. Yeah. I know Reedy doesn't think it will, but he'll be the first one to write the yarn saying.
Sounds like you've got him lined up already. You've got him with the crosshairs.
Not at all. No. But
what else are they going to do?
New South Wales.
Yes.
Well, there's no one else to coach in New South Wales.
There's plenty of blokes. I spoke to one this morning.
And they're in. Keen.
They'd be keen, I reckon.
Rookie coach.
Could be.
What about the international window?
What about it?
Were you happy with it?
Yeah. Oh, well, where else are you going to put it?
Did it captivate you?
I still wouldn't mind a Anzac test. I quite like the old Anzac test.
I think we've got to get to a stage, and I've harped on this for a while now, is that during Origin needs to eventually, we'll get through the Origin structure in a sec, but shut down and have Kiwis v Tonga, like have that international window then.
And Australia doesn't play in it.
Australia doesn't. Well, they've got the Origin.
Okay.
And Australia plays at the back end of the year. I think that would be ideal. And then you have enough content over that weekend through all those matches to appease broadcasters and the like. But
I'm with you on that point.
It's
I think
hard.
There needs to be tests for those Pacific nations during that window.
It is hard when you've got guys that are still playing and teams have started pre-season for the next year.
We did it. We had a standalone Origin. We got rid of it.
No, I'm saying like we had teams playing on the weekend.
No, we had a standalone Origin where we played international footy on the same weekend, didn't we, from memory?
But it's far different if you have 3 standalone
Didn't we? There's some internationals that weekend when they had standalone Origin?
The Pacific ones. Yeah.
Well,
But there wasn't
they
like
dumped it.
we didn't see like that wasn't when Tonga was at its peak and Samoa was at like the height. Like they played. With all due respect, they played those games in Campbelltown and not in front of great crowds.
Mate, you're dreaming. If you think they're going to shut the comp down for 3 weeks, you're dead set dreaming.
All right. I'm just saying.
It will not happen.
Just saying what my dream would be.
Who's going to do that? We're locked into a TV deal for the next 4 years.
Yeah,
they're not going to shut the comp down for 3 weeks.
When we get to 20 teams.
What's in that? What's in there? Please. Oh, when you go to 20
But you're
teams.
the one that wants to have an Anzac test. How are you going to play that?
Just
and have players playing
for one-off game.
Give me one week.
And have players not playing for their club side. So they don't. So okay, Mister. So they don't play for their club side.
Yeah.
Then they miss out on Origin playing for their club side as well.
Yeah.
So they could miss what? A month of
3
footy?
games maybe.
Oh, that doesn't affect the competition.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't say it didn't affect the competition.
But you're happy with that?
Yes, I would be happy with that.
No, you wouldn't. You're just saying.
Probably not. I did like the Anzac test. I liked it. Didn't you like it?
I like a mid-year test. I do. I'm all for international footy.
Yeah.
If we can just find a way it works where players aren't missing full club games.
It felt like this year, the end of season test series, it was a bit, by the end of it, was a bit of fatigue.
But they can't.
Didn't you think?
Yes and no,
not for the players. I'm talking about.
But they
for
can't
the
play
viewers.
any less games.
I know that's the issue.
Like they played 2 games.
It's the only
plus a
place
final.
they can play.
And they only played 2 games in a final. You know, like I think someone came. I think was it Michael. I'm not sure who it was. One of the coaches came out and said, "Oh, they'd like to extend the tournament." They can't do that. They can't play everyone.
Why instead of playing it in Townsville and Melbourne, why are we playing tests in Sydney and Brisbane?
Yeah, there needs to be a test.
There
needs to be a test.
And then you can't have a final in Hamilton.
Well, it was ridiculous.
That crowd looked pathetic.
Embarrassing.
Anyway.
But and PNG were outstanding.
That's your baby, PNG.
It's not my baby.
You love PNG.
Yeah, they'll be the 18th.
So 80th team, you're pushing hard, aren't you?
I'm pushing it. Hello, I think the federal government's got a bit more sway than me.
Got to keep China at bay, mate. Joe Biden's got to keep China at bay.
We're skipping topics here, but do you remember when we wrote that first story about
PNG, right?
PNG, right?
Yep.
And people thought we wrote PNG, China,
yep,
diplomacy, federal government. People thought we were off our face.
Yep.
Madness.
Yeah. Now it's just gather momentum.
But
you're claiming that you've kicked it off.
We all kicked it off.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a chuckle though when we were writing those stories going, is this real?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I know. And now it's just, it's out of control.
Rep footy, no changes to the Origin structure. So what we saw this year, Origin in a 6-week period. Some clubs will be unhappy about that. What do you expect? What do you make of that? What feedback do you expect from the clubs?
I can't remember what the alternative proposals were, but I think one was to congest it a little bit more, so it wasn't over 6, maybe over 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a better idea. I'm not sure the rationale behind it, but we just got to live with it, And we complain about it every year since it's basically started Origin. Clubs complain about the impact it has on the competition, but it's such a jewel in the crown, and it's the only time it can be played. So there's no perfect answer. You've just got to find the best answer. I don't know whether this is it or 4 weeks, over 4 weeks, but it's going to affect the comp regardless. You've just got to live with it. It's part of life. And you know what? Clubs get stuff out of Origin. The players come back to club footy who've played Origin, and they grow a leg. They're better players.
They also lose a leg sometimes.
Sometimes they do, yeah.
Well, you
like Tom?
Tom.
Don't tell Manly they like Origin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had to look at it. Was it 2020 when we had the series
at the back end?
And that was over a month.
I wish that worked.
Well, when would you play international footy? You just said you need more international footy.
No, but in terms of a 4-week window, we had to look at that, and that was didn't quite work out then. So I can't. Yeah. It's just every year it comes up and end up
You
back
just
at
got
the
to
same
live
place.
with it. It's going to affect someone. You're going to lose a player, but the price you pay. If you
It's
don't
a
want,
very
if,
expensive
you know what?
price.
If you don't want to lose players to an Origin,
Don't sign Origin
don't sign
players.
Origin players. Pretty simple.
Nice.
But you also can't win premierships without Origin players.
Oh,
So.
maybe
Maybe.
not. Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know.
Someone's won without Origin players. Didn't someone do a story recently? Someone did a story this year from us, didn't they? Dave did it, and column Dave Riccio. How many Origin players you need to win the comp?
So you need some.
Oh, there was
There's
a magic
totally-
number.
there was
Most
a magic
years you
number.
need some. There was a magic number. It was like 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Right?
Yeah.
But there might have been one year where there was someone won with none. I might have made that up. I can't remember. I'm sure there was a year when someone only won with like
So,
one or none.
Last year, Readman,
Yes.
in a famed column, you went to Concord, checked out the new facilities,
Oh,
and
yes.
said, "I'm drinking the Kool-Aid,"
Sat in the barber's chair.
and said, "Tigers are back, baby."
Yeah.
Not
That went
quite.
well. Didn't quite go well.
All right. So last week you had the first interview with Benji Marshall as West Tigers head coach.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid again.
You're
Mick.
back?
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid again.
You know, I tipped them in the top 8 because of that column. Thanks for
Did
that.
you? I don't think I'll write a column this time.
I was
saying
heavily
that, mate.
convinced.
I'm
By
drinking
Readman.
Kool-Aid.
That's your first mistake.
But you know, Benji, he's a confident guy, right? He's always been a confident guy, great faith in his own ability, and he thinks he's going to turn them around. Look, he needs to sign some players. He knows that. But the one thing he did say, well, there was a few things he said, obviously, but a few takeouts out of it. You know, last year they talked about throwing the ball around and being more attacking, and he said we're not going to talk about that stuff this year.
Thank
you
God.
know?
I don't want to hear the word.
But he said we're going to work harder than anyone in the pre-season. And he said, you know, I want guys who will compete, who are going to have a go.
I want the word or 05 banned.
Yeah. He did. You know what he has banned? Can't talk about top 4, top 8. So if any player gets asked, you're going to make the top 4 or top 8 this year, Benji.
Who's asking if they're making the top 4?
Well, someone might. Top 4, well, yeah, that might be a stretch. But top 8.
Did he say who is he going to start the year in the halves?
He said it's a shootout. He's told them all 3 of them. So 3 of them. There's Sullivan, Farnu, Caesar. He
mentioned the young kid too, Lockie Galvin.
Lockie Galvin, yeah, he's impressed with him. But he said those three guys are the main ones. It's a shootout.
That's
Whoever
fair enough.
stands up in the pre-season, they'll start in the opening game.
So what you left that interview? If you could leave one major takeaway with it, what is it?
That's a tough question, Mick.
Well,
What do you mean?
What's your general? What's the vibe there?
What's the vibe there?
Give the Tigers fans some hope.
I think there's optimism, right? Because, you know, it's a bit of a change in the guard. Benji's in there. They've got some young halves who've got a bit of potential. They need to do some work at the market, and they're doing that behind the scenes. You wrote the other week about the Justin Olam, Sean Bloor swap. You know, I think at some point he'll speak to Justin Olam. That hasn't happened yet. You know, Jerome Luai is a guy they're discussing behind the scenes whether they make an offer or not. I'm not sure they're going to go down that path yet, but they're certainly talking about Jerome Luai. So, you know, I think optimism's the word, but everyone's optimistic in November, right?
Not Dragons fans. Where do you
Oh, wow.
Do you think that was the best thing to do, to talk about Jerome Luai when you've got all these young halves that are supposedly the future of the club?
Well,
Yeah.
Well, what do you do if people ask you about it? The alternative is to lie. And when you start lying, you get caught out. You look
And I've got no
stupid.
issue. You got Aiden Caesar who's on the back end of his career. You got
Yeah.
2 young guys that haven't proven themselves yet. Maybe it's a little rocket up them saying, well, we know you signed good deals, but you're not guaranteed of anything.
And he didn't say we are going out and getting him. He just said when good players come in the market, the good clubs consider them. And he said we're considering him.
Where do they finish?
I don't know whether they'll go after him. I honestly couldn't get a real read on it. I think they're definitely interested in him, right? But it's just whether they're willing to pay the money to go and get him.
I reckon it'd be, no offence, Matty, I reckon it'd be good to see him go to a club like that, because then it's a genuine test of his superstar ability to go, okay, I'm the man, I've gone to the Tigers, I've got him into the finals.
Yeah.
And that would cement him, so that'd get him out of any shadow, any other, you know, he's a good player, right? You don't play, you don't perform the way he has and not be a good player.
You guys
right?
are mates now, aren't you? You've made up, haven't you?
But
You're Gronk.
but then you think, like,
That's a tick.
to test himself, that would be like.
Yeah, well, I think he's done everything at Penrith, hasn't he? And he's never going to be the main man. He's always going to be second banana there to Nathan Cleary.
Second banana.
Second banana, yeah. As
that
a
a
race,
Queensland
he's
term,
Robin to Batman, right? He's always going to be Robin at Penrith because Nathan Cleary's the
Readman
man
to MC on
and
the
will
column.
always be the man, exactly. so you know, if he wants to be the main man, I get the feeling he does. I get the feeling that you know better than me, mate. Do you think he'd be enticed by being the main man somewhere?
I think he would be, but as a Penrith fan, you know that Jerome Luai has always been the kind of the spiritual or emotional leader out at Penrith. While Cleary obviously is arguably the best player in the comp, Jerome's is always the guy that brings the energy. He's always the guy that brings the team together because they've got that kind of Pacific Island. He brings Stephen Crichton, Spencer Leniu, all those
all the guys who are going.
It'd be a pretty quiet change room in 2 years' time if Luai's out of there, Crichton's gone.
And the other thing you got to consider, right? I mean, Penrith offered him $850. He might get 1-1-1-2.
Yeah, it's crazy money.
If he leaves.
It's crazy.
Over 4 years, that's a big
lot of
difference.
money. Over 4 years, you're talking potentially $1.4 million. That's life changing.
Is it different now with the new rules that we then start hearing about the clubs that do make an offer, because then that kickstarts the 10-day cooling off period?
We know anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
there's probably some sneaky ones.
There'd be some, of course, but there's
has anyone actually lodged a deal yet? I haven't heard any deals being lodged.
Not doing your job.
You got some?
No, I got nothing.
We need to find one. The first one.
Nothing.
The first
countdown.
The first 10-day
countdown.
Well, one player that's got a contract in front of him that's at the NRL at the moment is Michael Jennings.
This is your baby.
The
Nick.
Roosters
What do you got?
have put an offer to him for a training trial. It's with the NRL at the moment. The NRL have not signed off on that deal. What do you make of the move, Matty, to get Michael Jennings back loosely in the NRL, but a pathway back to the NRL?
I imagine it's purely off that relationship he has with Robbo, right? Where they won the 2013 comp together. It's obviously really important to Robbo. It was his first year rookie. It set him on the path to being one of the best coaches in the NRL. So it's a little bit of a touch on that relationship, but he hasn't played. We don't know what he looks like.
Nigel wants to know, I don't understand why Perth is often spoken about as the next NRL team. Why doesn't the NRL leverage the rugby talent in, say, Christchurch and create a North Island and South Island derby? And while we're there, another one on expansion from Matt. This is more of it was a long email, so this is more of a statement. But if the NRL is truly a national competition, then Perth team should be next. That contradicts what Nigel said, and have the team them up with the North Sydney Bears. They already have world-class infrastructure, fans, support in Perth and Sydney. Play 8 games in WA under the Perth colours, and then 4 to 6 games at North Sydney under the Bears colours. All right. So what's our... I think these are both right, and I think we may see...
Aren't you a cheerleader for the Perth Jets?
Yeah, well, the Bears... I think if Perth comes in, I don't think they'll be the Bears. The Bears have seemingly aligned themselves with the Pacifica, which is in shape.
Have they though? It seems like they'll
go with anyone, right?
Want, yeah.
You know,
I think there should be. I think we'll go to 20.
Yeah, I think we'll go.
I think there should be a team in the South Island of New Zealand, and that should be Pacifica.
What, straight away you think we're going to 20?
No, we won't straight away go to 20.
Why not? I'm saying we should. I think we should.
From 17 to 20.
Correct.
By 26 or 27.
Yes, correct.
No, I don't think so.
You're going to find another 90 players of 100 players?
No.
They'll come out. We'll find
No,
them.
I think what they should do is say we're going to 18 or 18, and then
they're going to go to 19, aren't they?
I don't know if they'll drip feed the 18, 19.
Yep.
But to say, all right, in 26 we're going 18, 27 we're going 19, 2030 we're going to 20.
Okay.
Whatever the case may be.
Well, one of those first two should be on the South Island of New Zealand.
Yeah.
And it should be a Pacifica team.
And it should be the Bears.
I don't necessarily think that.
I'd like it to be the Bears.
Well, so is this Christchurch team separate to the Pacifica?
No, it'll be the one.
No,
it'll
I'm
be
saying
one
that should
team?
be Pacifica. Yeah.
It'll be a second New Zealand team that may play.
That represents the Pacific region.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And is it definitely the 18th?
No, 18
will be PNG, yeah.
18 will be PNG unless the government has cold
So there's
feet.
no way that we can say no to the Australian government?
Not with the amount of
Hell
money
no.
apparently they're putting in.
Yeah, no.
So, and then 19 will be Perth.
Well, I could cop 19 as South Island, New Zealand.
I think 19 will be
19,
Perth.
20, they should be the two.
Yeah,
Perth
yeah.
and the South Island, New Zealand.
Yeah.
The Perth Jets or the Perth Bears, whatever they are.
Perth Jets and
Perth Jets.
Pacifica Bears. But I don't agree with this point where they should play 8 games in Perth under Perth colours and 4 to 6 games
You can't
at
play
North
4
Sydney.
to 6 games at North Sydney Oval.
And the Bears don't want 4 to 6 games. They want 1 or 2 games
Yep.
at North Sydney. They want to be called the Bears.
What do the Jets want?
the Jets,
Oh, okay.
and maybe play one game in Sydney,
Yep.
whether it be at Henson or not. Doubtful
can't
would
play
be at
at
Henson.
Henson
They might play a
Park.
pre-season game at Henson
Yeah.
and a game at Leichhardt, which is nearby.
Okay. Yep.
You know, but yeah, the Perth Jets, I like that. All right, what are you laughing?
Oh,
Harry wants to know, question on Roosters rugby duo. With ARU looking like a dumpster fire, Asua Leahy and Angus Crichton both locked in at the Roosters for the entire 24 season. Or we'll see either of them to move to rugby or another NRL side at some point next year. And what is the best move for them? Reedy?
no, I think they both fit the Roosters. I checked on Angus yesterday. At this stage, Angus isn't going anywhere. Rugby's dead in the water. And they won't make a decision on what he does beyond next season until they're going to start thinking about it in a month or two. So I think at this stage he's staying. He doesn't want to play against the Roosters, so he'll be at the Roosters. And Joe's got one more year, and he wants to go out on a good note at the Roosters as well. So I think they'll both be there, which is interesting because there's salary cap. They've got some guys that want to upgrade and
Makes it very tight.
extend. Guys like Siwa's sort of done, and Terrell May. So they've got some work to do.
There's no doubt they'll bank in on Angus Crichton going to rugby.
Yeah.
And that's, what's he on? 700 or something?
750 or something?
Yeah, that's a huge
Almost
amount.
as much as you, Mick.
Oh man, that's a huge amount in their cap. All right. Twitter questions. Dorsey wants to know, Matty, who are the panel's golden boot predictions? So we'll start with you. Golden boot.
I had a quick look at this. Charles Nickel-Clockstad was one of the Kiwis' best. He wasn't great in that loss against the Kangaroos, but he was their best in both those wins against Samoa and then in the final against the Kangaroos. And then it was later revealed that he played with a busted rib too, right? So it was a big call from Madge because he could have stuck with Manu. He got golden boot last year and was awesome for them in that World Cup, but it was a big call.
I'll give him this no thought, Mick.
There's a shock.
But I'm going to throw a left fielder at you.
Oh god.
It just occurred to me.
Oh no.
We're ignoring England.
Do we need a dump
We're
button?
ignoring
Yeah,
all
we are
English
ignoring
players.
English players. Well, we're not ignoring them. We just.
Well, we are.
I didn't know him.
Matty didn't ignore him.
Oh, did
he
you?
just nominated a Kiwi player.
Okay. I'm going to throw Jack Wellsby in there as a wild card. The St Helens fullback, who's a gun. But I think maybe Joe Tapane, Kiwis. One of those two.
So you went. Oh, I'm going James Fisher-Harris. Ben wants to know.
We can't even agree. Are we all voted? We all vote on that, don't we?
To get to the short list.
Okay. Did you vote?
To get, yeah.
You did?
Who did you vote?
That's private bit.
Well, you obviously voted James Fisher-Harris.
No.
You idiot.
No. It's, you do.
It's game by game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can we? Yeah, we do game by game of international games.
Yeah.
And then that comprises of the short list.
And then they get
and I'm not
actual
sure.
experts
Then they get
make the final decision.
So just me. No.
Yeah.
I don't know I haven't seen the short list yet.
No, I haven't seen it either.
Ben wants to know, are the Warriors going to let Adam Fanua-Blake go once they find a suitable replacement in their eyes? Seems weird he's now committed for 24 when he's contracted through to... No, he's not. He's contracted through to...
Way beyond 25.
26 or 27.
27, yeah. No, they won't let him go in the short term. He'll be there next year.
Yeah.
And then they'll look for a replacement in 25. And they'll hopefully land a swap deal with someone, I'd imagine. But if they don't, they've got $1 million to spend, so they can be pretty active in the market.
And the interesting thing with Adam Fanua-Blake is that he's on almost $1 million.
Yeah.
Or around about
over
$1 million.
I think. He's over $1 million.
So clubs would have to offer him the same contract.
Yes.
Under NRL rules, so you can't get him for $500-600. You're going to need $1 million in your cap to get Adam Fanua-Blake there for the NRL to register the deal.
Is it definite that he's gone? I mean, a lot can happen in 12 months.
A lot can happen.
He can change his mind. He might not be as good as he was last year. So cut the.
I think his future will get sorted before kickoff.
Yeah. I think that again. I'm with Mick. I think they'll sort it out pretty soon.
And then that could open it up to swaps before 24 season starts. But I think he'll be there at 24.
Yeah.
And then the Warriors will come to the realisation for 25 and sign someone or find
I think
a replacement.
they've already come to the realisation.
Yeah.
They've told him he can go.
Yeah. Chris wants to know, in future, should the NRL advocate for political issues like referendums, or is it best practice to remain neutral? Who wants to
Who
tackle?
picked this question?
Well, we can't discriminate against questions just because they're hard-hitting. Matty, you want to take that one?
Which political issues are we talking about?
Well,
The yes vote,
the yes
obviously.
vote, and I think...
I don't have an issue with it. What's wrong with them taking a stance, political stance? Nothing wrong with that.
I don't mind the players. I like when the players speak out and have their own. We saw obviously Latrell, Nathan, have their voice. I like it when they kind of use their platform, because a lot of people look up, a lot of kids look up to them.
Yep.
them.
Right,
Pretty powerful voice to sport. You might as well use it, don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in the Pacific.
Pagey wants to know any news on Sharks movements. Rumours of letting Connor Tracy go, moving on Moylan, I haven't heard the Finucane one. Seem to have gone quiet. I know they can't buy with the top 30 locked in at the moment, but anything for 25 on their radar. I haven't heard Dale Finucane being moved on.
No, I haven't heard that either.
Matt Moylan.
He's off contract at the end of next season, isn't he?
Yeah, but there was an opportunity for him to go to Catalans, I think it was, but he's going to remain there as it seems. Connor Tracy or the Dragons are still dead set keen on him.
Yeah, he'll go at some point.
And if
he's too good a player.
Yeah, if he goes, they will open up some cash for him, but they don't have a lot of.
I couldn't imagine. He wouldn't be on bucket loads though, would he?
No, but he's on first graders money and he's playing reserve grade, so whether that opens it up, but they basically re-signed their entire back line.
Yeah.
Or they did re-sign their whole back five.
Yeah.
So that's locked in.
Yeah.
And then Toby Rudolph, he reported, is going to re-sign as well.
Agreed to terms.
There's not a lot of scope there for movement with their current squad.
And they need movement. They need change.
They need a forward with some impetus.
Who you got? Fanua Blake?
Safidi, Fanua Blake. Fanua Blake would be perfect for the Sharks. If I'm the Sharks, I'm looking at Fanua Blake and I'm trying to make that work, because I think he is a game changer. You look at the rest of their squad and I think it's great. I think it's really well balanced.
Yep.
They need some X factor in the middle of the field, which they do not have, and I think he'd be a game changer.
Do they have someone the Warriors want though?
They have plenty of players they'd want. Their forward pack's gone. Like the forward pack's great. Collectively, I just don't think it works, that forward pack. But individually, you take most of their players. They're a good side, Cronulla.
Yeah.
You tossing up any names?
Give Fitzy a ring.
Any
Let
of
him
them.
know.
Who, like, if I'm the Warriors, I'd take Rudolph. He's a down. I think Fanua Blake's a better player.
Hamlin Ueli.
You know, Hamlin Ueli's got some X factor
Royce Hunt.
about him. You know, but you know, on an edge,
Not
Teague
convinced by Royce
Wilton's
Hunt.
a good player. Brent
Nakora.
He's a good player.
Well, they can't let him go. I mean,
But I'm just saying, like, there's players there that, you know, if you had to find a swap deal, the Sharks are a good landing spot for the Warriors because they've got some really good forwards there.
It's interesting. I wonder if there's clubs who have got blokes coming off at the end of 24 who are in the process of re-signing them, retaining them, and now holding off a bit just to see what happens with Fanua Blake.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I just thought I'd throw that out there, you know.
Willow's a fan favourite of the pod. He wants to know when's Readman releasing the cookbook called The 3 Ingredients to Success. 124 pages of garlic, lemon and rosemary recipes.
It's a good idea. You spelt my name wrong though.
Wow.
Yeah, but stay tuned. There's something I've been talking to HarperCollins.
Have you?
Do we own HarperCollins?
What would you call it?
I think we own HarperCollins.
What would you call it?
I think I quite like that.
The 3 Ingredients
The 3 Ingredients to Success.
You can do a life book on that. It doesn't have to be just cooking.
Yeah, stay tuned. There's some good recipes in there too. Yeah.
Right. Johnny Drama wants to know, hey Readman, how good is...
Did I bag him?
Wait, let's
Oh, sorry, finish the question.
Right. How good is G-Maxi_32 going?
That's Glenn Maxwell,
And you asked me, who is that?
Have I bagged that guy at some point? I probably said he was legless at some point because he's had some form dips, but he was pretty good the other night. He deserves another game.
Another game after scoring 200.
Keep his spot, yeah.
For just one more game? Game by game basis?
He's a bit up and down though, isn't he? Let's be honest.
You're a bit up and down.
He was legless that game too. Like in the back half of that innings.
I spin the ball more than him too. You couldn't handle my tweakers.
All right. Before we get to dinner...
You fancy yourself as a cricketer too?
No, I don't.
You do?
I don't.
He's a good player.
I don't. Good sledger though. Before we get to dinner...
Oh, hold on. Question without notice.
We had some... I received an email directed for you. I'm your secretary now, but...
Direct email.
To me?
Yep.
It was to you?
It was to me to send to you.
Oh.
Because that's my role. That's my role in life.
Mail?
No, you know this story.
Do I?
Paul Hooper
from
Paul's Body Engineering has put together...
Yeah.
He's a nutritionist. And has put together a
very well
respected
food plan
nutritionist
for
you. And he's gone through some effort.
He's put a lot. He's
lot of
provided a
effort.
video, a 9-minute video.
Which is like not a generic video.
Only 2 minutes in, Paul. Sorry.
Do you have the 30-second version for Reedy? So are you going to...
I will, but not this week. Because
this
I'm going to Mr. Wong's on Friday.
Okay.
And that's a diet blowout.
Okay.
And next week I'm... Actually,
Okay.
no, sure, I can.
Okay.
So I'll start it next week.
Well,
There's some things in there I wasn't really...
well, you got to go back on
Yeah.
and work it out. But he sat down and given Reedy a meal
And you,
plan.
and you.
No, just for you.
Don't lie.
It's for
you
you.
got one as well.
I know.
He wrote it
What's
to
separate
me,
or the same?
but you wrote back and said, I wouldn't mind a diet
But he's
either."
only gone straight back to you.
No, he gave you a diet, didn't he?
Nah.
Did he snap
Rush me.
you?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'll just follow yours.
Are you sure?
Eventually, when I
Is
come
it the
back
same
from
diet
trip.
plan or is it
I
customized?
don't have one.
I thought you got one. Oh, Paul, listen to this. Paul, can you get mixed diet sorted,
No,
please?
yeah, I'm about to go to Hawaii, so maybe...
His buttons,
Whoop, knock on,
drama.
drama.
his buttons are under pressure. Can you get the diet to him,
well,
please?
Well, yeah, maybe when I come back from a trip,
Oh,
because
he's going to America.
I
Yeah.
shan't be,
You can't diet in America.
who's
The
going
meals
to?
are monstrous.
Who's going to?
Anyway, but next week I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to get on it. You know what his advice was? Because he heard me talking about how I was going to England.
World Cup last
and he
year.
said, I'm trying to strip weight before I go.
Yeah.
He said, you can't do that. You can't have a short-term diet, pile on weight,
Yeah.
and short-term diet. He said, you've got to be a gradual progression. So your body gets used to burning weight, burning fat.
It'll be close to Christmas soon.
Anyway,
so
I'm giving away all these secrets now. Sorry, Paul.
So that's Paul's
Yeah.
body engineering.
Yeah.
Free plug. But he did some
He put some
a
effort
lot
in.
of work. So
Yeah. So it'd be a bit disrespectful if I didn't follow it.
yeah.
So I'm going to...
Can you watch his video?
Or the 2 minutes that you've
I'll
watched?
watch the other 7 minutes. Yeah, when I get the chance.
All right, what's for dinner tonight? Speaking of, are you going to go to Paul's?
It's been a bit of a blowout week, Mick.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of
Yeah,
food,
the race.
and I'm going out tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I need tonight's fish at my house.
Okay.
I've got to pick up the fish on the way home, crumb flathead for the kids and my wife, and I have a little bit of salmon,
Yeah, we're doing salmon tonight too.
Hey, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a healthy
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
and then just salad with it. You know, just
We're
a
going to do some
salad
veg.
with a bit of lemon and garlic,
Some veg for us.
rosemary. I like to put a bit of chili oil on my salmon. Have I told
Do
you
you?
my salmon
No,
secret?
I don't care though.
I cook it in chili oil. Gives it a bit of kick. And you've got to have it, it's got to be blushing. You've got to get your salmon right. 3 minutes either side, folks. 3 minutes one side, 3
Skin,
minutes
no
the other. Skin on, Christmas skin up. 3 minutes either
I like
side.
the
That's
skin on.
any more. Hey, and do it with the lid on. Close the lid on the barbie, close the lid, put
On
a
the
lid on the
barbie?
pan.
On the barbie?
On the barbie quite often, yeah. 3 minutes, get it off, rest it for a minute or so, bang.
Maddie, anything as elaborate?
Oh no, definitely not as elaborate as that. But I am going through a bit of a native Filipino phase where I'm
Okay.
trying to learn some native dishes, and it's a bit of a chicken dish tonight.
What is it? What's in that?
It's
'Cause
called-
Usually
This
I'm the,
sounds intriguing.
Usually I'm the one that brings some
Can I
culture.
say this
is
is-
the one that I bring
This is
some
a little
culture
bit of
to
culture.
generally.
Compared to your meals,
Right after
this
Mr.
sounds
Wong's.
interesting. What have you got there?
It's a chicken dish, a marinade with it's
What do you marinate that in?
Well, let him talk.
soy sauce, vinegar, a little bit of sugar, bay leaves, and some peppercorns. So leave that going for an hour or so.
Yeah.
And serve it with
rice.
rice.
Nice.
Can I ask,
Can you send
do
us
you-
a
It's
photo?
it's a staple dish in
Do you go
Philippines.
chicken thigh or chicken breast?
This one's specifically told chicken thigh.
Yeah, it's much it's
juicier.
juicier, yeah, more moisture, yeah.
This is not your
Sorry.
meal.
No,
So is
it was
that
all-
that's the sauce, is it?
Yeah. It's a staple dish.
Can you send us a photo?
The sauce sounds a bit bland, but
Because that's what. All right.
sorry to the nation of the Philippines. I apologise.
You slept the Greeks last
It's a bit
week.
bland. I went to Manila once. The food was
What
very
happened there?
good.
Manila? What'd you do?
what happened
Manny
there? Who'd you
Pacquiao.
meet?
Went
Yeah.
for the Manny Pacquiao fight.
What'd you
I
do?
jogged with
Didn't
him.
you smash him?
Yeah, smashed him in a jog.
What'd you eat?
Manny Pacquiao left.
Hamburgers. All right. That's another edition of the Daily Telegraph NRL podcast. We'll catch you soon.